Wow,
Here.
this is great.
How about
Amelia, you want to put your flower right up here? There's a space. Okay, all right, excellent. All right. Hey, Henry.
See it in there, Tony.
What's that?
I don't see the little.
Well, don't worry about that. You just light it directly
just do
from,
this.
yeah. Are we ready to go? Good morning. Wow. Good morning. Wow. This is incredible. Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Greater Naples. Happy Easter, happy Flower Day. Spring has sprung here in the sanctuary. Some beautiful flowers here and a beautiful reflection of those flowers on all the faces in the sanctuary. I'm especially grateful to have any of our youth that are with us this morning. They'll be doing an Easter can hunt this morning, a little bit later, and then returning to us and helping us with the actual distribution of these flowers. And we'll talk about that in a minute, but I'm very grateful to have with me Joanne Husky as our worship associate today. Welcome.
Thank you, Tony. Welcome, everyone. I have to say that for me, Easter is one of my favorite holidays. And when I was up north, it meant spring and the rebirth. And here, it really actually means a lot of people that we love are going to leave. And the busy, happy time, the busy, very, exciting time is coming to a quiet time. But it's also a really nice time to reflect and think about life and everything. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Greater Naples. Welcome to everybody out on the patio. Hello, everybody out there, and hello to all of you in watching us on Facebook Live today. This is a wonderful Easter morning here in Naples, gorgeous, and we're so happy you're all here. Ours is a community that seeks to promote peace, justice, and love in our daily lives, and we try to do that every day. And if you're new today, I know we have some new people. We welcome you. Please make sure you make yourself known to us so that we can make you feel more welcome. After the service, we'll have coffee and donuts. Quite a lot of
Welcome.
people. So welcome and happy Easter to everyone. I want you to know that this morning there won't be any announcements during the service, so please be sure to check our e-blast because there's a lot going on, as there always is in this congregation. This week, First Friday, the Richardsons, Eleanor and Peter, will be hosting a dinner, and everyone's welcome, and you can read about that on the e-blast. And then next Sunday, the forum is with Dr. Peter Bergeson. So take a look outside in the hallway about that. And also, we've had a short fall for weekend meals. We're trying to feed hungry children in this community, and we would really appreciate anybody who's interested stepping forward and helping us reach the goal of feeding 160 children. So with that, now let's all take a deep breath and prepare ourselves for the service by settling in with the morning's prelude.
We are met together, and in meeting we are blessed. Peace in coming and in going. Hold on, dear brother.
In this time, we honor the rich traditions and stories of our siblings in faith. For Holi, which took place this past Monday, the Hindu festival marking the triumph of good over evil. For Ramadan, a time to stop and reflect and act in the name of goodness. For Passover, which begins in a few weeks and reminds us of the cost of liberation and the demands of freedom. For Easter, reminding us that love is our greatest challenge. For Oestre, the pagan celebration of spring, calling us to the earth's rhythms and the constancy of rebirth. We light our chalice this morning honoring these traditions and for the opportunity to be together as a community, to remember the past, to be alive in the present, and to look to our future. Please join me in the chalice lighting words you'll see on the screen or on your orders of service. May we know once again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and each other. And let's rise in body or spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, number 270 in the Gray Hymnal, O Day of Light and Gladness.
O day of light and gladness, of prophecy and song, what thoughts within us waken when hallowed memories throng. The soul's horizon widens, past, present, future blend, and rises on our vision the life that has no end. Earth feels the season's joyance from mountain range to sea. The tides of life are flowing, fresh, manifold, and free. In valley and upland, by forest pathways dim, of nature lives in chorus the resurrection hymn. O dawn of life eternal, to thee our hearts upraise. The Easter song of gladness, the Passover of praise. Thine are the many mansions, the dead die not from thee, who fillest from thy fullness time and eternity.
Please be seated. I see we ended up with a Easter bunny here as well. So today we are honoring a tradition that's sort of attended to in many, many Unitarian Universalists across the country at different times, not always on Easter, though here in the South, generally speaking, the flower communion or the flower ceremony or the flower festival, known in different ways in different congregations, because we are Unitarian Universalist after all. This opportunity to come together and share in some sort of communion. This was brought to us by a Czech minister, Norbert Čapek, and his wife Maya. And Daniel, if at some point you could go to the next slide and show an image of both Norbert and Maya. Both born in the late 1800s in Bohemia, which is now part of Czechoslovakia. Both arrived in this country through different channels. Norbert was born a Catholic. He became a Baptist as he grew up in his youth, and then came to the United States at the beginning of World War I because he was not on the favorite list for the German government at that time. In 1914, he brought his wife and 8 children with him to the United States to become a Baptist minister in New York. Unfortunately, his first wife passed away very soon after they arrived, and Norbert was left to raise those 8 children. Fortunately, he met Maya, another immigrant from Bohemia, a number of years his junior, but they struck it off immediately. Norbert's sort of evolution in religion continued. He became more and more liberal as he grew older, and he realized that he could no longer serve in the Baptist ministry, and he and his wife, Maya, joined a Unitarian congregation in New Jersey. For the same reason that many of you brought your children to church, to go to Sunday school, and to have a grounding in liberal tradition. So too did they in 1919, I believe, 21 perhaps. Norbert sort of caught the flame of Unitarian Universalism, and he decided after the war and after they had been settled for some time, went back, both he and Maya went back to Prague in Czechoslovakia and started a church, a Unitarian church in Prague, which in very short order became the largest Unitarian church in the world. 3,200 members. It was quite an open congregation, very liberal, very humanist in its leanings. And Norbert had the sense that there needed to be something a little bit more spiritual in some of their gatherings. And so he invented this service. The service that we are going to be celebrating a little bit later is an opportunity for people to bring in with them flowers that they have found or in this case bought or gathered, and each one representing a different species, a different kind, a different look, a different stage in its development, just a beautiful bouquet of difference and growth, and it reflects, again, back out to the variety of people we have in the sanctuary, the different origins, the different soils that we need to grow. So the communion service that we're going to celebrate allows us to bring a flower with us and then to take a flower away, something different than what we brought, that gives us a sense that we are sharing in this journey together, that we are willing to be siblings in our journey together through faith. And it is as simple as that. We bring a flower, we leave with a flower, we recognize the beauty of this sort of simple communion. So we will be doing that in a little bit. But right now, our children and our youth are going to be headed out the door with Stephanie and Emily, who are right there in the back. So anyone who wishes to, and we're not limiting this to necessarily with the kids, if you really want to go, they're going to do a can hunt in the garden. So they're going to search for cans, and those cans will be part of our weekend meals program in the next time it's put together. So as our children and youth depart, let's sing together our centering hymn, Find a Stillness. It's number 352 in the gray hymnal, and we'll sing them out.
Find a stillness, hold a stillness, let the stillness carry me. Find the silence, hold the silence. let the silence carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony. Seek the essence, hold the essence, let the essence carry me. Let me flower, help me flower, watch me flower, carry me. In the Spirit, by the Spirit, with the Spirit giving power, I will find true harmony.
Called together by the spirit of community, we join each week in these services that allow us to share our journeys, our wisdom, our joys, our sorrows. This is your opportunity to share with one another those things that you're holding deep in your heart. Nothing political or schedule, but something that you hold dear, something you'd like to share with this community this morning. If you have something, please raise your hand. I'll bring you the microphone. Tell us your name and briefly what's in your heart. Go ahead.
My name is Janet Hoffman, and I have a story that brings me hope. A friend of a friend just returned from the West Bank, and her presence with an international team meant that there were no attacks or other forms of harm where they were. And it just, the tremendous resilience that was there and the love and connectedness that these people had with each other was beautiful.
Thank you, Janet.
Good morning. My name is Linda Allen, and my joy is my mother turned 100 years old on Monday.
Good morning. My name's Kristen, and I just want to say that, Michelle, I don't have any family here. My family lives elsewhere. But Michelle and that one right there, Cynthia, have brought me into their family and have made me feel so welcome and warm and bring me here. So I'm very thankful for that. And that brings me joy.
And welcome to our family.
I'm Kathy Summers. Maid and I lost a very dear friend this week. He was medevaced back to Michigan and never made it out of the hospital, so we're feeling very sad. They've been our friends for 20 years down here, and I hope you'll keep them in your thoughts.
Thanks, Kathy.
Hi, my name is Lois Graydon. I'm very happy to be here today. On February 15th, I was rushed to the hospital, and a pacemaker was inserted. So that's very good news, and I'm very happy to be here. Thank you.
Lois.
Hello, my name is Steve Dilley. I have a joy and a sorrow. My joy is my oldest son recently turned 49. And my sorrow is he has survived a year with a glioblastoma. He's been in the hospital. He's still doing okay, So we're happy for that miracle of him making it that long.
Thanks, Steve.
I'm Joanne Husky, and my two children surprised me this week for my birthday, and it was like so much love for a whole week. And now they both left this morning, and I really came here with a lump in my throat. But I'm so happy to see all of you here. You got to make me feel a lot of love, because I had a little sadness this morning.
Thanks, Joanne. For all those joys that have been spoken, for all those sorrows that have been expressed, we know that there are as many or more here in the sanctuary resting in our hearts. So please know that you are loved, that you are welcomed here with both your joys and your sorrows. Let's enter into a spirit of meditation, followed by some silence together. Something has called us forth on this day, a desire for camaraderie, the yearning of an aching heart, the comfortable habit of community, the excitement of new connections, the stimulus of good conversation, a moment of clarity or stillness. The glories of nature just outside the window, or the glorious music inside that elevate the spirit. A desire to be reminded of the old stories that link us both to past and to the future. The need to find something greater than the self, from which we might draw hope or courage or compassion. Something has called us forth on this day. Something has set our feet or our wheels in motion to bring us together. And aren't we glad? Let's share some time in silence.
is Easter, and our monthly theme this month is transformation. So perhaps it is fitting to discuss Jesus, this radical Jew, this transformational man who had an enormous impact on the world that still replicates today. Jesus and Buddha were similarly transformational figures. Both of them espoused a central place of love, tolerance, and forgiveness. And they challenged their followers to love one another and to love their neighbors as themselves. This dictum is also central to Jewish ethics and moral principles, and it's reflected in both the Buddhist and the Islamic values of compassion, community support, and mercy. And it also accords with our principles here at UU to promote peace, justice, and love in our daily lives. Now, with all this turmoil in the world today, the wars, divisiveness, hate crimes, and mean-spiritedness, this message is more important than ever. And yet, why do we humans have so much trouble achieving this? Human history is fraught with atrocious turmoil because of division over nationality, over race, over religion, over economic status, over political beliefs. Despite the fact that Christ actually taught us that the kingdom of God is within us. And as the Hindus say, that we are to honor the divine in others. It's very hard. We find it very hard to love thy neighbor, to love our neighbor. Christ demonstrated this in his life by caring for the underdog, for children, for widows, for prostitutes, for the sick, for the poor. And I'm afraid if he were here today, he would be horrified to see how his teachings of love and forgiveness and tolerance have at times been distorted throughout history, and really at no time more than the present. Humans have constantly failed to overcome looking at those who are different as other. Today, we continue to divide into tribes of us and them. But the fact is that Jesus was crucified for this message. He was crucified for challenging the religious and the political beliefs of his time. And yet, his message still resonates today, and it spreads all over the world. And that is the real miracle of Easter. This simple yet powerful message that man learned by Christ's human experience, that it's up to us. It's up to us to honor each other, to love one another, despite our many differences, and despite how hard that really is. This is our human task. And in so doing, may we begin to discover the meaning of life and pledge ourselves more deeply to the ongoing work of building a viable peace. May it be so.
The men and women who followed Jesus of Nazareth during his time in Galilee and then on to Jerusalem were far from uniform in their understanding of his teaching or in their expectations of where he was leading them. There were groups and subgroups interpreting the leader's teachings through their own lenses. Some saw Jesus as the next great prophet in a long line of Jewish prophets, a nation's conscience who would call the people of Israel and especially their leaders to task for veering from the law. Others carried a hope that Jesus, as a true descendant of David, would follow his destiny to become king, bringing the Jewish people together in a popular uprising to throw off the Roman-backed government with its unwelcome cultural and religious influences. Still others were anticipating something truly cosmic, nothing less than the fulfillment of the prophecies resulting in a total upheaval of the world and the glorious beginning of the kingdom of heaven on earth. While his followers wanted Jesus to be a doorway or a window into other possibilities or other realms, Jesus was trying to be a mirror to show the people who they were and who they could become. As you read the broad scope of the gospel narratives, it's easy to see how Jesus was sowing seeds for reflection through his parables. And even when his followers were confused by a story and had to ask Jesus for clarification, he would often respond to them with yet another parable, encouraging them to reflect more deeply. Many of those parables involve planting or harvesting or the management of land or flocks, a context in which his listeners were so familiar. And he dropped those stories like seeds to germinate and possibly grow into a new awareness that might change their lives and ultimately the world. Unfortunately, what Jesus was teaching has been obscured over the decades and centuries by the trappings of the church and many different versions of the story of Jesus of Nazareth. But the truth is that the stories, the teachings, were never meant to be easy. The Gospels show that many walked away shaking their heads because what he asked was too difficult. Since the beginning of humanity, since we walked away from the family unit and the tribal unit where we felt comfortable and close and saw the us and them of our family and theirs, as human beings continued to come more and more together in larger and larger communities, we have always struggled to live together. And yet what the great spiritual leaders were trying to teach was how we might do that. How we might create a kingdom of heaven here on earth. And the lessons are still to be learned. What is true is that those in any faith who brandish their conviction as a sword has never understood those teachings. Gandhi, the Hindu who studied the Gospels and admired Jesus greatly, once said, "It is easy enough to be friendly to one's friends, But to befriend the one who regards himself as your enemy is the quintessence of true religion. All the rest is mere business. And so on this day, let us remember what separates us lies within. In our fears, in our judgments, in our comfort, in our greed. And let us try to remember that when we nourish the seeds of love and forgiveness in our hearts and overcome all that holds us back, when we make and strengthen connections, even those outside our comfort zone, only then do we align with the teachings of the carpenter's son. Only then can we begin to transform the world and grow that larger community of peace, justice, and love.
Now is the time in our service where we have the opportunity to be grateful for this amazing sanctuary, this amazing congregation that gives us so much solace, gives us a place to reflect, gives us a place to unite with people we love. It gives us a beautiful garden to walk in. And also, it represents us in the wider community in terms of peace and justice. For all of those reasons, today's offering will be gratefully received. And if you're watching on Facebook Live, you can send us a contribution to office@uunaples.org. Thank you.
What does he wear?
As we wait for our young ones to come back from their Easter can hunt, and I don't know, Chris or Jim, would you make sure that they're somewhere nearby? Usually they're right there waiting, but I want to. So often in a worship service, there's these debates about whether we applaud for music or whether we don't. And in this congregation, I think for me, I just let it come. If it's natural, we don't have to applaud for every piece of music, but if it feels like we need to do that based on the music or on the moment for each of us, then I think that's wonderful. What I would like to do as we wait is to have this choir stand up again, and I want everybody, please rise. And look at the size of this first of all, and then just think about what you just heard and what has been incredible in its development over the last few years, and in this culmination today, I think, in that beautiful song. So in a moment, our youth will be joining us, and Abby will be providing some soft music in the background. But as I ask that you wait, as you wait and wait to receive a flower, and try to take that flower as a gift, receiving it reverently, looking at it and in wonder, thinking about what it takes to create a flower like this. The flower you receive will be different from the one you brought. And as you take your flower, note its particular shape and beauty. Remember to handle it carefully. It is a gift that someone else has brought for you. It represents that person's unique humanity and therefore deserves your gentlest and kindest touch. So now I welcome our children back to hand out the flowers, and let's again do this in relative quiet. Hey, Brentley. Hi, Oscar. Take a few more if you want. If you want to take those. Hey, Taryn, you want to take that out somewhere? We honor these flowers that have been brought to us by our children and youth, that have been brought to us by someone else in the congregation. Let's join together in a blessing of these flowers. Spirit of life, transient and imperfect, these blossoms are still gifts of infinite value, like ourselves. Too often we seek permanence and perfection, resisting change, blind to our shortcomings. May these flowers serve as a reminder, for despite their imperfections, they still have integrity. And though they are transient, just like ourselves, let us also then open ourselves to the mystery and wonder, fretting perhaps not too much about small mishaps or even great misfortune, loving enough to share our strengths and our weaknesses in community. For the life of a new world is at our fingertips, and our own true inner glow can light the way. Blessed be to all of you and to all of your flowers and to these wonderful children for helping us pass them out. And let's rise and sing a closing hymn, "Oh, give us pleasure in the flowers today." The tune should be familiar. The words are by Robert Frost.
Oh, give us pleasure in the flowers today, and give us not to think so far away, as the uncertain harvest keep us here, all simply in the springing of the year. Oh, give us pleasure in the orchard white, like nothing else by day but goes by night, and make us happy in the happy bees, the swarm dilating sound the perfect trees, and make us happy in the darting bird that suddenly above the bees is heard, the meteor that thrusts in one idle bill, and off a blossom in mid-air stands still. For this is love, and nothing else is love, but which it is received for God above, to sanctify to what far ends he will, but which it only needs that we fulfill.
Go out into the world in peace. Have courage. Hold on to what is good. Return to no person evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the suffering. Honor all beings. Have a wonderful day. Happy Easter.